Hello everyone and welcome back to the 3T Path channel. My name is Giridhari. And today I want to talk about a very difficult concept to grasp, which is the concept of non-attachment. Sometimes we just say detachment, because we think that that must mean being cold, being indifferent, not living out life properly. But actually, it's the opposite. See, the idea you have to understand is the view yoga is giving us is that the soul, the real you, this person who is feeling, thinking, deciding, that person is actually a spirit soul, not material, not from this material plane, not made of the same stuff as everything you can see here in the universe, the stuff that we see, including our own bodies. It's made of something completely different, of a completely different kind of energy, spiritual energy, consciousness. And that's what yoga is saying. So the love, the joy is coming from the soul. There is no love and joy in matter. Matter has no feelings, no love, no pleasure. So when we say you're having pleasure, you're feeling love, it must be coming from the soul. So what non-attachment is saying, look, if you focus on this spiritual experience and you not get attached, non-attachment, to the situation in which you are now experiencing that love, that pleasure, then you will experience it more. You'll spoil it by becoming attached, the opposite of non-attachment, by mentally thinking that you need the situation, the material situation in which you're experiencing that love or that joy, by thinking you need the situation, the material construct, the material environment in which you're experiencing that, then you're decreasing the joy and the love, because now you're going to have anxiety at the thought of breaking away from this situation in which you're experiencing that love. So you're making it worse by being attached. And when you're practicing non-attachment, you're focusing on the here and now. You're focusing on the experience of being, and not just of that particular moment where you're, particularly experiencing, some joy, like the particularly exciting or fun moment, or that moment you're like with that person in a relationship and you're feeling that love in that exact moment. But when you take this step back, which non-attachment can give you, then you can experience that living, that pleasure of life, the pleasure of love, of joy, of being, without whatever situation you're in, because now you've practiced this non-attachment, so you understand that the real pleasure, the joy, the bliss, the love is actually just coming from you. It's in you, and it doesn't need the situation. You are the one bringing it to the situation. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're the one bringing the joy and the love to that external material situation. See, it's when you understand this concept of yoga, of the soul, we call it Purusha and Prakriti, if you want to use the language of the Yoga Sutras, or the Vedanta language is Atman and Prakriti. So if you can understand this difference of the two, and understand that all the joy and love is coming from you, then you no longer have to be attached to situations. You can find the joy and the love within you, and just make the most of whatever situation you're in, and you can tap into that spiritual existence, the bliss of just being, of existing, because that's what you're made of. In the Sanskrit text, in the sacred text, they'll say that what you're composed of, the soul, what's it made of? And they use three words. They say Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat, existence; Chit, consciousness, you're being aware, awareness, just being aware; and Ananda, bliss. That's what you're made of. That's your constitutional, and that's what the ingredients of the soul are, Sat, Chit, Ananda. So you already have all this stuff with you. And that's why we practice non-attachment, because actually it turns out you'll see in the conclusion of the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali will say, you know what? You get to that point, it's called Kivalia, this point where you achieve perfection, liberation. You get to Kivalia and you'll understand, he says, the last verse of the Yoga Sutras, he says, you understand that actually all this material stuff, all the stuff that's not spiritual, all the material constructs, the whole universe, all this stuff, it has zero value. He says, shunya artha, zero value for the soul. Because you didn't need any of this stuff. You didn't need anything here to experience joy and to practice love and to feel love. You didn't need any of this. It's all in the spirit soul. It's all about the real spirit plane and not the material plane. So that's the thing people don't understand about non-attachment. When you practice it, you'll have like the best relationships and you enjoy life. Everything will be there. But you just have a wiser view of it. You'll know that things are flowing. When you're non-attached, it allows you to flow with life. So you're in this situation and you make the most of it, and hey, situations change, things happen, your karma's flowing, you don't know what's going on. Fine, you get yourself in a situation, you're okay, because you know that love and the joy was coming from you anyway, and it didn't need any of this stuff out here. Even death you're afraid of, because hey, it's death. I'm just gonna not be in this material situation. I'll be in another one. Oh, I'll just be out of here completely in liberation. I'll be fine. I don't need any of this stuff. That's what non-attachment really is. Let me know if you understood this, if you have any questions, and have your rest of your day with lots of joy and lots of love.